The Lifetime Achievement Award, not have had a bottle of wine for years. A Lifetime Achievement Award honors someone whose dedication, integrity, and love for the game have shaped our community over many years. This individual is known for an extraordinary memory, able to recall matches played long ago, including opponents, scores, and even the nuances of how those matches unfolded. She never needed a directory or contact list, phone numbers, schedules, and match results. It lived effortlessly in her mind. I'm sorry, she was my first captain. And for those lucky enough to know and to play alongside her, she was also a great teacher. Especially when it came to remembering to respect the law. It's true. On the court, she consistently set the standard for sportsmanship. In all the years she competed at O'Galley Yacht Club, she was never known to raise her voice or become combative over a call. Even in disagreement, she showed calm, respect, and fairness. These same qualities defined her leadership. As a captain, she evaluated players objectively, made thoughtful decisions, and always put the good for the team first. Her leadership is grounded in trust, and our teams are stronger because of it. Her impact extended well beyond match play. She was a founding member of the Space Coast Tennis League, and she has been part of the Space Coast Tennis League since the very beginning. Her family has long supported O'Galley tennis, from junior tennis days to her continued presence cheering on her family members at events today. She also brought people together off the court, often quite literally, by showing up to team gatherings with the best appetizers, adding warmth and connection to our tennis community. Her commitment to the tennis at O'Galley Yacht Club has created a legacy that will be felt for generations. Through her wisdom, enthusiasm, and genuine love for the game, she has inspired countless players and strengthened the fabric of our club. As her teammate Joan Sorensen so perfectly said, she has been the heart of our team and carried us through many seasons. No captain has ever been more selfless, impartial, or fair, always making decisions based on what was best for the team. It is truly fitting that we recognize a lifetime of service, leadership, and sportsmanship. Please join me in honoring Phyllis Isenman.
Before you give your speech, I'm going to say a few words. Thank you so much for those kind words from my mom. I'd like to say just a few more things from a family perspective. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Phyllis and Martin's other son. I'm now the doctor, that's Eric. My name is Lee. I'm the older and still somehow better looking son. I live here in town. I play tennis at the club, and I'm honored to speak about my mom before presenting her award. So for as long as I can remember, tennis was a staple in our house. But with my mom, it's more than that. Tennis was, well, it was a religion. And ever since we moved to Florida, the yacht club has been her place of worship. I really don't remember when I first learned to play tennis, but I know I was quite young. We lived in Melbourne Beach. My mom would drive me and my brother to and from the club at least 3 times a week. It was like 20, 25 minutes in each direction. And that was just us. Between league matches, private lessons, tournaments, clinics, family competitions, social matches with friends. If my mom wasn't playing tennis, she was likely on her way to or from playing tennis. So I remember when I was about 12 years old, my mom found a house for us to move to in Harbor Beach. It was a beautiful house, but I clearly remember how my mom pitched it to my dad. While she may have mentioned that it was on the water and it had a nice jacuzzi outside, the emphasis was clear. Martin, imagine how much more tennis I can play if I'm not driving 45 minutes round trip to play. And how much we'd save on gas. And that was that. They put in an offer that night. It's just 2 minutes up the road and they still live there nearly 40 years later. We were always a competitive family growing up, so there's a lot of tennis matches between the Isenmans. I can remember the first time I beat my mom, the first time I beat my dad in a tennis match. But I lost to them many times before I won. What I remember even more clearly than when I finally did win is that my mom taught me never to be angry about losing, but to look at it as a learning experience. What did that loss teach me? What can I do better next time? What skills do I need to improve when I practice? What questions should I ask my coach at my next lesson? And from what I've heard, many others who have played with my mom over the years, this is how she approached the game for over 40 years as well. And while it might sound cheesy, those are all lessons that we can not only appreciate in tennis, but also in life. So please join me in congratulating my mom, founding member of Space Coast Tennis League, Phyllis Isenman, on her well-deserved lifetime achievement.
In order to be nominated for this award, you had to have been around for a long time. And I certainly meet this criteria. Marty and I joined the yacht club in 1979, and it was one of the best decisions we ever made. At that point in time, there was no Space Coast, no competitive matches, just social matches among the members. Then, in 1987, Space Coast arrived, and it changed the face of tennis in our county forever and for the better. They combined teams from other private clubs and public facilities, and it allowed us to meet women of all walks of life who we would never have had the chance to meet if there weren't a Space Coast. During those years, I became friendly with not only the women on my team, but the women on other teams of the club, as well as members of other clubs, and they became lifelong friends. All the years I played Space Coast, I was almost always a team captain. And I'd like to think that many of the players I coached on all different levels and teams appreciated the advice and benefited from it. And maybe not. As many of you know, 13 years ago, I lost the vision in my right eye. I didn't know if I would be able to continue competing, but I was lucky enough to have some very thoughtful partners who knew I would have trouble finding the ball sometimes. So I'd hear them say, Phyllis, on your right, Phyllis, on your left. And it bought me enough time to usually find the ball and enabled me to be playing team tennis and in competitive setting. Able to play team tennis and still be competitive. In all the time I've been at the yacht club, there have been many different pros, but the staff we have now is the best by far. Over the last 2 years, in addition to being blind in my right eye, I have lost all peripheral vision in my left eye. So even with wonderful and attentive partners, I had too much trouble to be able to keep playing competitively, and that makes this award even more sweet. At this point, I feel I have to make a shout out to Sabina, who took an elderly, really blind woman and enabled her to keep playing casual tennis with friends. I don't know how many people here remember a female player named Jan Taylor. She played more tennis probably in a day and went around everywhere, but never saw a match at the yacht club that she wasn't in. And the rumor was that when she passed away, she would be buried under one of the courts. I am just afraid that people are going to say that about me soon. In conclusion, I would like to thank my team, the Naughty Shots, for nominating me for this award and for all the thoughtful things they put in to say why I should get it. And lastly, thank you all for coming tonight.